message to everybody in the world to remember you by, what would that one message be?
Oh, geez. That's okay, you've thrown me off. There's a good interview question.
Yeah, you put that in your test.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll use that in the interview. Honestly, the quote that I end up saying the most, ironically, is, if common sense were as common as the name implied, I wouldn't have a job. That's, if you're going to remember me for one thing, remember me for that, because really, it's just a lot of building a good workplace that supports people is about exercising common sense. And when you don't know what to do, bringing in an outside perspective to help with that. Because I mean, sometimes you get locked in that internal perspective. You're locked in that day-to-day in those weeds. You're stuck in the weeds, right? So sometimes you need to take that step back and get that help to get out of that. But really, a lot of what I do, if we just really spent the time to remember that everybody else is human in the company also, it would solve a lot of issues. So if common sense were as common as the name implied, I wouldn't have a job.
Common sense is not that common.
Yes.
So that's your message to everybody. What is the best advice that you've gotten from somebody?
I've gotten a lot of good advice throughout the years. That's part of the reason you mentioned in my intro, I do mentoring. That's part of the reason why I went into mentoring. I do so much mentoring because I had really good mentors throughout my undergrad, and just throughout my early career, I had great mentors. Best advice that I have ever been given is, if I were to summarize it, it would be just do it.
It went from too many to 3 words.
It really would be that, because one of the things that I always say, a lot of people, I am a risk taker. I am much more risk tolerant. One thing that people ask me a lot is, how do you do it? And I always say, I always have a reason for what I'm going to do, but it's better to seek forgiveness than ask permission. Mm-hmm. So if there's something that you're thinking, and that's to some degree throughout my life how I've approached it, I knew the PhD wasn't going to be what fulfilled me. So I had a choice. I can take this huge risk and leave and try to rebuild a career, or I could stay in academia, right? And what it come down to? Just do it.
Very well said.
Let's go with 2.
1, 2. So how is success similar or like a weather vane?
Oh, how is success similar or like a weather vane? The direction's always going to keep changing. It's never going to be consistent. And you have to figure out what direction it is and go with that.
Very, very well done.